Hello and welcome to today's episode of the CFO Leadership Series, sponsored by the Hub of Finance Transformation. And today we have with us a special guest, Mohamed ElRouby. Mohamed is a SEMA qualified and a certified financial planning and analysis professional. He is a finance leader with more than 20 years of experience and has worked with organizations like Johnson& Johnson, Energizer, and Novartis. He is presently the CFO and the global finance lead for MEA and Africa region at Pharmanovia. Welcome, Mohamed Ruby. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Asif, for inviting me today.
Amazing. It is always pleasure talking to you and love having you on the show. So before we go ahead, can you give us a quick background for our viewers in terms of how your journey has been so far?
Thank you, Asif. Actually, I started my career as a management accountant in oil and gas company, and I was lucky that I was contributed in building the finance function from scratch in collaboration with all of my finance colleagues. Then I moved to a big multinational company, which is Nissan Motor. So I worked as a financial analyst. Then I moved to a senior management role as a financial controller in Johnson Johnson Medical, and I spent almost more than 2 years over there. Then I moved to a bigger role as a regional head of FP&A to manage the African region and the Near East countries at Novartis Pharmaceuticals, and it was a very intensive experience for me to manage a wider role, and managing different countries has different market dynamics and different changes. After that, it was the right time to lead the whole finance functions in a bigger region. So I moved to Energizer as a head of finance for Egypt and North Africa. And then I got different promotions as a head of finance for Middle East, and then head of finance for Africa and Southwest Asia. And currently, I'm handling a bigger role as a CFO at Pharmanovia for Middle East and Africa region. And at the same time, also, I'm handling the global commercial finance area with my colleagues in the UK. So it was a very interesting and very valuable journey for myself. Yeah.
Amazing. So you worked with almost all the big pharmaceutical companies. You've covered almost all of them in the last maybe 10 years.
Yes. Actually, most of my experience is between pharmaceuticals and FMCG, as you said, Asif. I worked in Novartis, Johnson Johnson, Allergan, Pharmanovia, and also from FMCG perspective, I worked in Energizer for almost 5 years. So I have, the mix of experience between FMCG and pharmaceuticals. Yeah.
Amazing. Let's now move on to the roadmap for today's session. So our topic for today is how can finance business partners add more value to the organization? And briefly, we'll cover three aspects. First will be the FBP mindset. What is the mindset required to be a finance business partner? Second, we will cover the skill sets required to be a good finance business partner. And finally, we'll ask Mohammed to also cover an example and a case study of how practically FBPs can add value or create value for their companies. So, without waiting more, I'll pass it on to Mohammed. So, what are the key mindset shifts required for accounting and finance professionals to be able to add value to the organization beyond whatever they do in their traditional reporting and accounting functions?
Yeah, I believe, changing our mindset is the key, and should be the first step. If you would like to transform your finance team, or if you'd like to transform yourself from being a traditional controller or a traditional management accountant to be a true business partner, we always start with the mindset. So, from mindset perspective, there are many areas that we need to transform. Let's start first with changing the mindset from process to building relationships. This is very, very important step. So we cannot, influence our business partners. We cannot influence decision making without building a strong relationships with our business partners. So we need to change our mindset from focusing on systems and the process and all of our operational mindset to focus more on building relationships with our business partner. I believe this is the first step. Also, finance people need to know how to change their mindset from tell to sell. I saw many finance professionals always tell people, you have to increase your price, you have to improve your profitability level, you have to improve your sales mix. But our role is not to tell people what they have to do. Our role is to sell our ideas. So we need to learn and change our mindset, how to convince people, how to use our influence, and how to changing their mind, through different techniques to sell our ideas instead of just working like a policeman, just telling people what they have to do.
Mhm.
The third area also from changing the mindset is from complexity to simplicity. As you know that we are, as you know, Asif, we are as a finance people are talented, in complicating things.
Yep.
Most of finance people, sometimes, presenting very complicated, tables, very complex analysis, very
Mhm.
complex charts. So we need to learn how to simplify our message. If you would like to be a true business partner, a strategic business partner, we need to know how to simplify the message to our business partner in order to let them understand clearly our message, and also in order to build the trust and influence them. Also, another important point, Asif, which is changing our mindset from challenging to coaching. And actually, I'm still seeing, in the job description of many finance
Mhm.
professionals positions, they put the person should challenge the business, should challenge the people. I believe our role is not to challenge people. Our role is to work as a coach, asking people the right questions and guiding them to the right direction. So this is a very important, mindset as well, which is being a coach inside organization, better than just working as a controller or just like a policeman. Tell people, yes, you exceeded your budget. You have a drop in your sales. Just challenging people and put them in a defensive mode. I believe we need to change our mindset to be a coach inside our organization.
Mhm.
Another important point also, Asif, as you know, that we are now working in a big, in an environment that dealing with a big data. We have data everywhere. So our mindset is how to change our mindset from presenting data, and instead of presenting data, we need to know how to present business insights, because there are big difference, as you know, that between data, information, and insights. If we told people only what happened, we have increase in sales, we have a drop in profitability, blah blah blah, all of that is just data, right? Even if you put the best dashboard and the fancy charts and the best BI, using the best BI tool, we still presenting data. So business expecting from us insights, which is answering the question of what happened, why that happened, and so what? How can we improve our business? How can we mitigate risks? So this is another important point. Also, from numbers to stories, as you know that many of finance professionals are very good in preparing very good analysis, very good working, very good reports.
Mhm.
But the issue is how to present, the numbers and the working and the outcomes from our long time working into an engaging and inspiring story, how to simplify the message, how to tell the right business story. So this is another important mindset. And also, most of us as a finance people definitely have to work on, a computer, behind computer screen. But for sure, we have to think again to change our way of thinking. We cannot influence our decision making behind computer screen. We cannot just influence people by sending emails. If
Mhm.
we send tens of emails, hundreds of emails, nothing will change. But if we changed our mindset to meet people face to face and asking them the right questions, building relationships with them, understanding their business problems, solving their business problems, I believe this will help us to influence business. So changing the mindset from email to face is a very important one. And also, we have to have the mindset of curiosity to learn how to build relationships, curiosity to understand what is behind numbers. So curiosity also is a very important mindset. And last but not least, I believe our role is to solve the business problems. Our role is to help business to improve, not just working as a consultant and just sending some recommendations to people. So I believe finance should work as a catalyst inside organization and ensure solving the business problems and ensure the action is done and leading it from end to end. So those are, in a nutshell, what should be changed from a mindset perspective for finance business partner.
I love the way you covered all of the 7 or 8 mindset shifts that are required to become a good finance business partner, especially like the data to insights, number to stories, and the bias for action and problem solving. So I think those are great mindset shifts which accounting persons or accounting professionals should consider while they are looking to transition into a senior finance business partner role. So thank you so much for covering that. Now we talked about the mindset. Uh, what are the skills that are required for finance business partners? So once we fix the mindset, or once we uh, understand what is required, how do people acquire the skills that are required to be a good finance business partner?
Yeah, thank you, Asif. I believe also from skill sets, we have a list of skills that we need to develop. And as you see that the expectation every year, is increasing. And
Mhm.
most of business people, expecting from finance a lot, they need us to solve business problems. They need us to leverage data. So we have a lot of things that we have to do to meet the expectations of our business partners. So I believe number one skill set is building relationships. I would like to emphasize on this area again. Building relationships. We cannot influence people without having relationships. People will not share, the proper information. People will not listen to us without building a good and strong relationships with them. Number two, business acumen. Business acumen is very, very critical for finance business partners. And even it came from the name, finance business, So business understanding is very key for finance business partners. And understanding business and proving to our business partners that we understand the business is our admission ticket to all the strategic decision meeting. And this is our admission ticket to attend the decision making meetings. And also business acumen is helping us to ask the right questions, helping us to provide business insights, helping us also to design the right decision supporting tools and design the right management reporting. Because how can you design the right management reporting without understanding the KPIs for your business, without understanding the working flow in your business, right? Without understanding the value chain, without understanding the business model. So understanding business is very, very critical for finance business partnering. And also turning data into insights. We need to have the skills how to turn data into a real business insights. How can we making our data exploration, making all the analysis, all the understanding of relationships, and then we need to learn how to transform this data exploration into data explanation, how to explain the business insights to the management. How can we take the business to the next level? How can we ask the right questions? How can we think about so what? How can we improve our business? How can we mitigate risk? How can we improve our profitability? So this is another important point. And again, storytelling. As you know, Asif, most of
Mhm.
finance people having the right dashboards, having the right tools. Now in the market, we saw tens of best tools that helping us in building the all the management reporting and the dashboard in a very nice way. But it's not only about having the right dashboard or the right tools, right? We need to know how to tell the story behind those numbers. So this is a very important point, which is mixing the data and combining the data with visualization, and then building the narrative and the story behind the numbers and what we need from our audience. Also, strategic thinking and looking forward view is very important. And as you mentioned, also, the difference between accounting and controlling and finance business partnering or FP&A, it's all about the looking forward view, right? Accounting always focus on the historical data. Did we book all of the transaction right? Did we have an accurate financial statement? So it's all about historical data. But finance business partnering should have the looking forward. How can we improve our business? How can we provide predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics as well?
Mhm.
Also, critical thinking and problem solving. I believe our role is not just consultant telling people you have to, improve your profitability or improve your net working capital or whatever. Our role is to solve the business problem. So we have to ensure and providing actionable insights and leading the action plan from end to end, either as a leader of the project or of the initiatives, or working as a catalyst to connecting the dots and connecting, the other functions together to get things done. Also, a finance business partner should have a very high, communication skills to influence people, negotiation skills. As you know, also during, for example, the budgeting exercise or any business case exercise, we always have negotiation, right? We always negotiate with people. How can be stretching their business or their target? How can they have ambitious plan? So this is very important also to have negotiation skills. Even also sometimes we have to negotiate with our external partners like suppliers, like key accounts, like wholesalers. So negotiation skills is very also important for finance business partner. And coaching, we have to, as we said, we are not like a policeman inside the organization. We have to work as a coach. So we need to know how to ask people right questions in order to get the right business insights. And last but not least, technology. As you see right now, technology evolution is moving very, very fast, and finance should enter the game of data analytics and how to leverage technology to provide business insights and foresights, and also to leverage technology to work more agile and more efficient as well.
Nice. I loved the way you covered the all the skill sets that are required for finance business partnering, and I could like visualize it in two or three buckets. One is understanding the business first, which is the basic and which is the foundation. And then you need certain technical skills to understand the data, to be able to convert that into information and insights, and also build a story. And then a lot of soft skills like critical thinking, communication, negotiation, and finally the technology part, which is also very essential these days. So thank you for covering all of that. I have a follow-up question. You mentioned about predictive and prescriptive analysis, and I know because I attended the CFO leadership program. But for our viewers, can you just give a brief about what is the difference between the predictive and prescriptive, and how can we move towards the prescriptive analysis?
Yeah, thank you very much, Asif. I believe this is very good questions, and thanks for asking about this important area for finance people. As you know, that data analytics has, like, let's say, a four steps, right, to provide the right business insights and foresights. There are a four steps, right?
Yep.
Number one is telling people what happened, right? When I make my data exploration, I have to tell my business people what happened, right? What was our sales numbers? What's our achievement in profitability level, liquidity, blah blah blah. So we have to tell people what happened, which is descriptive analytics. We always use our ERP systems, outputs, and also sometimes we use BI system also to present to people what happened. Then we have to tell our business people why is that happen, right? Is it driven by which product, which customer, which product line? So we have to make another deep dive analysis to understand why is that happen, which is called diagnostic analytics. Also in this analysis, we always use a different system like BI system and maybe some analytics tool to just tell us what's the relationships between the changes. And also, when I talk about system, we should never forget our human, intelligence. So we have to ask business the right questions using our, intelligence to make understanding the relationships between numbers. Then moving to the most two important points, as you said, Asif, which is the predictive analytics. If you present to your board or senior management what happened and why that happened, most of your reports or your presentation, people know it, right? You didn't tell people what they don't know, because most of them understand and know what is the sales achievement, what is the profitability achievement. So people doesn't expect from us only to tell them what happened and why happened. We have to tell them what will happen in the future. If you guys, if you continue with this promotional activities, our sales will be growing. If we continue this wrong pricing strategy, how we're gonna lose more market share. So we have to tell people, give people predictive analytics, what will happen in the future, and this is called predictive analytics. So we have to use also both systems like statistical tools to help us to predict the trends or predict the future, and at the same time also we have to use our human judgment and human intelligence. And also, if you told people what will happen without actions, that will help to give them a view or vision about what will happen in the future. But this will not solve the problems, right, or the business
Right.
problems. So this is why, Asif, we need the prescriptive analytics, which is telling people how can we get that done. So we can tell them, yes, we see in the future if we continue the same marketing campaign, we're gonna, get or we're gonna continue with the sales growth. And how can we get that done? This is the prescriptive analytics. So we can share them. If we can invest more, the sales could be doubled. If we invested, less, that will be. So we share with people actionable insight with scenarios to tell them exactly how can we get that done and what are the key drivers to get that done. So that's called prescriptive analytics.
Understood. So predictive is more of doing some scenario planning for the future, maybe 1 year or 3 months, while we do what we do in the forecast, versus prescriptive is you tell them some recommendations or what actions you can take based on the predictions that you have made.
Exactly. How to get things done. Exactly.
Right. Thank you so much. And while we talked about mindsets and skill sets, it will be very useful if we can share with our audience a practical example or a case study which will help them implement all these mindsets and skill sets, so they can see practically how somebody has implemented these mindsets and skill sets in real life. So that will be very useful if you can cover that.
Yeah, sure, Asif. As you know, that finance business partner can do a lot of things. I believe we can work as a clear example of value creators. So let me share with you a very quick case study or very quick, situations that I experienced in my career, which is I joined a global FMCG company. And when I joined that company, as you know, that FMCG, they have like key accounts, like the big hypermarket chains, for example, like, Walmart or Carrefour or whatever. So in our country, we had one of the key accounts that represent more than 50% of our modern trade sales. And every year that customer has, to increase their margin because they have very, strong power in the market and they have very, big market share in the market. So they have a big power in the market. This is why every year they asked to increase their margin every year, and our commercial team was struggling to negotiate with them and getting any saving with this key account. And at the same time, finance was not involved at all as in this negotiation. So every year the negotiation was done only through our sales team and our key account management team with the key account or the client. And the issue is in the last year of the negotiation, they asked, can you imagine for what? 33% margin. So we asked to take 33% of our sales. Let's say third of our sales, they're gonna get it as a margin, which is had to hit our profit, big time. And commercial was struggling actually as if to get any better negotiation terms with the client. So when I joined the company, I started to work as a true business partner. So I started first to understand the business, what understanding the contract with that key account. So I read the contract very well, understand the key elements of each point in the commercial agreement, and I found that the 33% they are asking about is spread between different activities inside the hypermarket or inside the store. And as you know that we are a finance, we have our strong analytics skills and our analysis skills. So I started to see what is the ROI and the profit generation for each investment in the store. So I found a big bulk of the investment in the store is in getting a premium area in the store, which is the cashier area. As you know, that cashier area in any hypermarket is the most visible area. So it was very expensive for us. But when I analyze the sales generated from that premium area, I discovered that, can you imagine, Asif, that it was a loss generation area. So the investment was higher than the gross margin generated from this investment. So
Okay.
I told the commercial team, guys, let's negotiate with them and telling them we don't need this investment. Okay, give it to any other supplier, give it to any other company. We don't need this one. And when we started the negotiation with the key account, we told them
Mm-hmm.
we don't need this one, so let's reduce this 33% to less than, it was around to 20, almost to 20%. So they told us, this big change in our margin, but we told them, and we show them a logic. When you present to people logic,
Yep.
people cannot, resist. So I presented to their guys, we are investing that amount in the cashier area, but we are generating loss. So no one could argue on this one. So we succeeded to remove this area from our contract, and we reduced the margin. And at the same time, we reinvested this amount, also that we had to invest in the cashier area, in another activity that generates for us better, ROI, and generates for us better profit. So we succeeded to save 200,000 US dollar. At the same time, we invested the monies in high value adding activities, which is giving us better ROI. So after that initiatives, Asif, actually, they decided to keep finance as a permanent,
Yep.
part of the negotiation. And I see it's a very good example of finance business partnering, about understanding business, building relationships with your business partners, challenging the status quo, and providing people business insights and solving the business problem.
Right. So I see a few steps that you took. So one was analyzing the contract and then breaking down the data into different sub segments, or the areas where you divide profitability, and then recognizing, okay, this is the cashier area is the key item that we can negotiate on, because they would not want us to uh, walk out or not provide them that key business space that was required. I think that bringing that to the negotiation table and making them understand, okay, this is the reason why we are asking for a lower margin. I think that helped the negotiation very well.
And if you link it also this case, Asif, to the skill set we have talked
Mhm.
about, you can see we used our negotiation skills, we used
Right.
our business acumen,
Mhm.
building relationships, problem solving. So now you can connect, the what we said in the skill set with this business case. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of skills that we talked about, we actually practically see and implemented in this example. So thank you so much for sharing this. Now let's move on to talking about the CFO leadership program. So I attended the first batch of the CFO leadership program, and there was a full entire module dedicated on finance business partnering. And I have studied this a lot more in detail, so I can relate to it a lot better. But uh, what do you suggest? Uh, First of all, let's talk about the CFO leadership program. So, uh, who is the CFO leadership program for?
Actually, this program is for, no, we can say we have different, audience can attend this program.
Mhm.
Number one is someone starting in the mid career, like finance manager or FP&D manager or accounting manager or whatever. So in the mid career, and wants to move to the next level and be a CFO. So this program can help them big time to prepare themselves to be ready for the CFO role. This is one category of the people who can attend. The second one is people who are join a new role as a CFO, and they still in the beginning of their career as a CFO, so they want to strengthening and improving their skills and become a ready CFO, or we can say the next generation CFO as well. Also, if someone also working as a CFO but wants to you know
Mhm.
improve their skills and their knowledge to be a next generation CFO or to be an excellent CFO, I believe also this program is for them as well.
Amazing, amazing. And I know you cover the finance business partnering module at the CFO leadership program. And we also did a lot of case studies and practical examples while we were in the class. So what apart from the finance business partnering, there are other modules as well in the program. So can you talk a little bit about the other two or three modules that people should know about?
Yeah, there are different modules because we want, the CFO to be ready from all,
Mhm.
angles, So number one is leadership. As you see that some people, finance people working
Yep.
in the
Mhm.
mid-career, they are very good, in analyzing
Mhm.
numbers, presenting numbers. They are good in our finance stuff. But when it, you know, when we talk about the leadership, if you'd like to be a CFO, which is leading projects, leading teams, leading different, situational like transformational journey or leading. So leadership is very, very important for CFO. So we have one dedicated module for finance leadership,
Yep.
which is about, how to
Mhm.
build the right purpose, how to influence people, how to transform people, how to use as an innovative leader, how to be a true example for your team. So leadership is very important. We have another also three modules, one about digital transformation, as we talked Asif about the importance of leveraging technology for finance. So we have very, very practical modules for digital transformation about artificial intelligence, machine learnings, data
Yep.
analytics, RPA. So we have different areas. And
Mhm.
also we have dedicated modules also for data analytics, because data analytics standalone is another important area, as we talked about moving from descriptive analytics, diagnostics, and predictive and prescriptive.
Right.
So we have a very important module for data analytics. And as you know that if finance not if finance cannot enter the data analytics game,
Mhm.
finance will be out of the whole business game, right? Because if we
Right.
did not leverage the data analytics,
Mhm.
we'll be out of the game. And the last module, which is about performance management and
Mhm.
reporting. And this is also very important because having the integrated reporting and
Mhm.
integrated planning in your company, selecting the right management reporting, how to measure performance, how to build a CFO dashboard, how to tell the right business stories. It's all about performance management and how to present to management. This is also another important part for the CFO. Also, we have some very interesting elective modules about merger and acquisition, fundraising, project financing, corporate restructuring,
Mhm.
and LPO. So we have also different, elective modules as well.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all the different components and the modules in the CFO leadership program. I think you covered everything, but I wanted to mention especially the coaching aspect of the program as well. So there is a dedicated coach who will prepare your personal development plan or CFO readiness assessment, what we call, and the coach will be there with you along the duration of the program to assess your progress and give you advice on a one-to-one basis in a group setting. I think that is a special aspect of the program I thought I should mention. All right,
Yeah.
so I know we are on time. We have another 2 minutes. So are there any other last thoughts that you want to share? Maybe some advice you want to give to our listeners or viewers?
Yeah, I would like to tell people when you select any learning journey,
Hmm.
focus on the practical examples and focus on
Hmm.
the learning journey that will share with you a real practical case studies. Because if you attending any training program just sharing with you theoretical stuff or theoretical content with models and just theoretical things, definitely will not help. And you can find this information already available in everywhere, in internet or
Yeah.
YouTube or whatever. But if you are interested to really develop your skill set and mindset and your capabilities, focus on the program that has a real practical case studies and real and people are working really in the practical area in finance and business, not just people have presenting like academic stuff. So
Mhm.
this is why I like this CFO program very much, because it's very practical. It's all about case studies and group discussions and sharing with people practical business situations. So this is all about the area of practicality.
Yeah, I agree. So you should be able to implement whatever is taught in any learning program at your work. Otherwise, it is not that much valuable. So you learn and then you might forget it after a few days. But if you can implement it at your work in your role, then it will be a good investment both in terms of time, and you'll also see the results, which I'm sure a lot of people in the CFO leadership program in the first batch have seen already. So thank you so much, Mohammed, for
Thank,
joining us today. We'll love to have you again sometime, maybe in 2023.
thank you very much, Asif, and it was a great pleasure meeting you. And thanks very much for inviting me today.